Why do we check our phones 40 times before 9 a.m. like it's completely normal? Why do we still remember the exact insult a stranger said to us, word for word, 3 years later? And why does asking someone for a favor make them like us more, not less? We like to think we are entirely in control of our choices. We believe we are logical creatures navigating a rational world. But the truth is, we are running on an outdated cognitive operating system. Underneath our conscious choices, a hidden framework of biological wiring and cognitive biases is pulling the strings, often forcing us to act completely irrationally. We aren't broken, we are just operating exactly the way we are programmed to. And once we see the code, we can start to rewrite it. It starts the second we wake up. Checking our phones 40 times before 9 in the morning isn't weak willpower. It's a mechanism called variable reinforcement. It's the exact same psychological trap that makes slot machines addictive. We never know if the next swipe will bring a reward, a good email, a funny video, or a text. So our brains keep pulling the lever. We are feeding our own attention into a machine that mostly gives us nothing back. But what happens when that lever does give us something? Like an unread text or an email we can't answer right away. Suddenly, that one single notification sits loud in our heads than the 20 tasks we already finished today. Psychologists call it the Zeigarnik Effect. Our brains delete finished tasks almost instantly, like closing an old browser tab. But leave one thing hanging, and it will nag at us for days straight. Our brains aren't rewarding us for what we've accomplished. They are just remarkably bad at letting things go. It is why our to-do list feels louder than it has any right to. And unfortunately, our brains don't just hold on to unfinished business. They specifically hoard the bad stuff. Think about it. Why do we remember a minor criticism from 3 years ago while 100 compliments from that same week are completely erased? That is negatively biased. Our brains are wired to hold on to pain far tighter than pleasure because, historically, remembering threats used to keep our ancestors alive. This bias bleeds directly into our wallets through loss aversion. You see, losing $20 stings almost twice as much as finding $20 feels good. It is the exact same amount, but a completely different emotional bill. Our brains are basically overdramatic accountants who only remember what we've lost. It is why we'll spend an hour hunting for a $5 bill we dropped, but never spend that same hour trying to earn an extra 5. It is also why we keep paying for a subscription we never use. Canceling it feels like a tangible loss, even though the money is already gone either way. So, our brains are terrible at processing tasks and managing emotional debts. But they are even more irrational when it comes to other people. Imagine starting a new job. There is a coworker we can't stand in week 1, but by month 3, we are grabbing lunch together. What changed? Probably nothing about them. Our brain was just hijacked by the mere exposure effect. We start liking things purely because we've been exposed to them enough times, whether or not they're actually good. Think of a radio song we hated the first time we heard it. But now we know every word. Our brains aren't judging quality here. They are mistaking familiar for good, over and over, without ever telling us. Now imagine that same coworker is presenting a project. They seem flawless, untouchable, almost intimidating. But then they trip over their own words, spill their coffee, and laugh it off. Suddenly, we like them infinitely more. If this sounds familiar, it's the Pratfall Effect. Small, harmless mistakes make people like us more, not less. Spilling coffee or blanking on a name makes us look human instead of unreachable. So the next time we embarrass ourselves in public, that mistake is actually working in our favor. But if we really want someone to like us, the best thing we can do goes against all common sense. Don't do them a favor, ask them for one. This is called the Ben Franklin effect. When someone helps us, their brain subconsciously assumes, I must like this person, or why would I have helped them? The favor comes first, the liking follows after. It is completely backward from how we expect human connection to work. Our brains build the feeling to justify the action, not the other way around. But our brains don't just pull this trick with people. They do it with our own physical labor too. Why does a wobbly, uneven homemade shelf feel better than a perfect one from the store? The IKEA Effect. We value things more just because we built them ourselves. Our brains reward the labor, not the objective quality. This explains why we get so fiercely attached to that one object or idea that everyone already told us doesn't work. We didn't fall in love with the idea. We fell in love with the effort we put into it. But once we realize our brain is just a machine running predictable loops, we can start hacking the hardware to calm the system down. When we're lying in bed, our brain's spinning through all those Zeigarnik Effect open loops. When was the last time counting sheep actually put us to sleep? Never. A bored brain just goes straight back to worrying. Instead, we can use cognitive shuffling. Picture random, totally unrelated words, one after another. Chair, ocean, spoon, kite. No story, no logic, nothing connecting them. You see, our brains literally cannot overthink our anxieties and process visual nonsense at the same time. The anxious thoughts lose their grip, and we're out before we can even notice. And when that anxiety hits during the day, skip the meditation app. Just lie flat on the floor. Not the couch, not the bed, the actual hard floor for 5 minutes. It sounds ridiculous, but floor time works through pure biology. Full contact with a solid, unmoving surface provides massive proprioceptive feedback to our nervous system. It signals to our body that it's safe to stand down, dropping cortisol and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It genuinely resets us when everything feels like too much, and is the one trick we're least likely to actually try. So, how many of these glitches did we just catch ourselves doing? If it's more than 3, we aren't broken. We're just running the same operating system as everyone else. Our brains are survival machines, prioritizing safety, familiarity, and perceived losses over logic, happiness, and peace. Anyways, that's just the human brain being the human brain.